Welcome to Food and Facilities, an online show for West Coast Industrial Solutions magazine. Our goal is to cultivate knowledge to feed the world by focusing our quarterly trade issues on safety, compliance, and innovation within manufacturing, agriculture, food processing, and food and beverage industries. In this episode, we discuss personal protective equipment and proper fit with Eric Hallmark of Stauffer Glove and Safety, and pre-planning your legacy with Ross Rice of Rice Insurance Benefits. Welcome to Food and Facilities. I'm your host, Tara Sweeney with West Coast Industrial Solutions magazine. Today we'll be discussing PPE, or personal protective equipment and proper fit, with Eric Hallmark, and we'll be discussing pre-planning your legacy with Ross Rice. Make sure to subscribe at wcismag.com/subscribe and check out our advertising options at /advertise for all safety and compliance news on manufacturing, food and beverage, food processing, and agriculture. And one of our sponsors is Fine Print Plus. They're your source for print, packing, and promotion. Get 500 free business cards with purchase for new customers when you mention this ad. They also do graphic design, print and copies, custom apparel, promotional items, parcel service, will call and deliveries. And you can reach them at 559-237-4747. You can give them an email at graphics@fineprintplus.com. or request a quote at fineprintplus.com/quote. My first guest is Eric Hallmark, SEEQSSP of Stauffer Glove and Safety. You can reach him at hallmark@stauffersafety.com or give him a call at 707-637-7109. Welcome, Eric.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing lovely. It's a beautiful day out. The fog has burned off and we can talk about some safety.
Yes. Can you give our listeners and viewers a little background information about yourself and Stauffer Safety?
Myself, I've been in the PPE distribution business for 33 years, soon to be 34 years. Started actually right here locally and spent 25 plus years in the Napa Valley, San Francisco Bay Area, gotten certified at different things, a safety auditor, PPE inspector, competent person in fall protection. I've always felt the more I know about those types of things, the better I could serve my client base. Stauffer, I've been on board with them for soon to be 6 years. After the first year, and they have been around since 1907 on the East Coast and brought me on board as their West Coast national account manager. And then we started looking at the opportunities through up and down the valley, and it gave me an opportunity to move back home. And so I took it. And it's been a little bit of a slow go, but we've had a crazy year this year. Stauffer does have a distribution center here in Fresno. We've had it since 2016, nearly the end of 2016. And slowly but surely, we're growing, but I'd certainly like to get our name out. But my purpose today is really to just talk about safety. There are so many people, as you and I discussed, Tara, that wear multiple hats within companies. The small companies, even some of the larger companies, do not have a full-time safety person. And some don't know about, hiring consultants. Some do. Some rely on their workman's comp insurance. I just try to bring them as much information as I can and help them, wade through everything. On you name it, whether it's form, fit, and function of personal protective equipment, or if it's trying to help them figure out a way to lower their mod rate for their workman's comp insurance. there's lots of ways that I can be of help, whether it's, working with software and selling you product, or just answering an email or two here and there, or taking a phone call. As we discussed, this is not a sell job for me. This is just getting the word out and helping people do their everyday job.
What is something you wish more people knew about personal protective equipment?
What do I wish they knew more about? I wish there was a less muddy way for people to access the things that change all the time. Just as an example, cut resistant hand protection has changed a number of times over the last, well, definitely 10 years, but it's changed multiple times in the last 5 years. And nobody knows what these things mean. They get told to use a ANSI cut level 3 glove, and they wonder why the EN 388 European cut level 3 isn't sufficient. There's a lot of differences, but you don't necessarily know where to look to find it. I wish people could access that type of information easier.
And you said you wanted to give some pointers on how to properly wear a mask. Would you like to share that with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah. I've got. I'm gonna share my screen. I've got a few little slides here, but it's been kind of a bugaboo for me. We've all been into masks for how long now? And you're seeing my first screen. Since what, March of this year? And I get out and about, and every day I see people wearing them incorrectly. And really, it's not doing them any good, but it's not doing the people around them any good. And it's just as simple as put the mask on over your nose. Doesn't matter if it's a paper type mask like we all have, and we've all probably worn at one point or another these last 9-10 months, or a nicer cloth mask, over the nose, under the chin, and you're good to go. I'm not, Tara, are you seeing my slides?
I can see your slides.
Or are you just seeing me?
I can see your slides.
Okay. So on the first slide is just the introduction, of course, and how to properly wear the mask. Moving on, I've included some myths and some facts here that I was able to gather over the last few months as it really started to bug me. Wearing a mask. What are the myths? What are the facts? Wearing a mask to protect against coronavirus has become part of our daily lives, right? Part of daily life for all of us. Though wearing a mask is one of the most important things you can do to prevent coronavirus infection, there are still many misunderstandings about wearing a mask. How safe and effective, how to use them properly, when and where masks are needed. There's lots of information out there. I've found the most reliable, and where I've pulled a lot of my information is from the CDC. It actually seems to be very thorough. The Mayo Clinic has some pretty good information as well. But I've heard all of these myths, and to the point where it almost is not, I don't even carry on the conversation anymore. I can't believe what I hear on the news in a lot of cases, on how to wear masks or what to do and things like that. It's pretty basic. One of the things I think that gets forgotten the most is before, and I'm picking up a paper mask, before you put on the mask, before you even touch these straps, wash your hands. If you haven't washed your hands, maybe you've infected that thing before you even put it on. Try to not handle it, the media filter, as much as possible. I see a lot of that happening. Just over the ears. If you're using a mask like this, a paper disposable ear loop mask, whether blue, white, pink, whatever, if it starts to get, if you see that it's soiled or starts to become damp from exhale, your exhalation, your breaths, get rid of it, replace it. It is definitely disposable. Um, I've seen people wearing the same mask and days at a time that I know personally, and I know it's the same mask because the same marks are on it, the same type of contamination. You're not doing yourself any good. If you're wearing a fabric mask, cotton, whatever it may be, multiple layers, um, try to have more than one. But if you only have the one, wash it daily. When you're done for the day and you know you're home, wash it, hang it to dry. They don't like to play in the dryer very well. Um, but just take care of it, take care of yourself, take care of others around you. Um, a few of the other, myths out there. I'm on the third slide. Um, Cloth masks don't protect you. Well, the fact is they are effective. They create a barrier between your mouth and your nose and those around you. That's the most important part. Um, I'm seeing people wearing the face shield and a face shield alone. I'm not necessarily an expert on this subject, but I still think if you cough or sneeze, stuff can get out from under that. Um, I understand protecting your eyes, and that's a very important part of the whole thing. Um, but I think if you're going to take the time to put on a shield, you might want to at least put a thin, you know, ear loop mask on, something that you can breathe through. That's the biggest complaint that I hear is can't breathe through it. So then they're pulling it down under their nose. I saw one the other day. They just had it hooked on their ear, one ear just dangling there. I thought, okay, and told me they were wearing their mask. Um, the cloth mask, as I've got highlighted here, it's any of these masks are keeping the droplets out from coming into you, but also from getting out to the people around you if you sneeze or cough. Um, I don't know what you're doing when you're going, if you're using public transportation, retail stores. I don't think we can get into any really here locally without having a mask on. They'll not let you in. In some cases, I've seen them chasing people down in the store, and people running. It's kind of comical. So just wear it. Be cognizant of the people around you. I've tried this entire time to not be paranoid about it. Before Thanksgiving, I did have to take I was possibly exposed to somebody through work, a client, and I had to take a test. It's not any fun. It's not hard, but the worst part was the wait. I felt fine. Yes, you could be asymptomatic. I felt fine. Everything was good. But in the back of my mind is, when am I going to get the results? That took a week. And I've heard worse stories than that. But a week of not very good sleep and just thinking, when am I going to know? When am I going to be clear? Or how do I take it from there if I'm not? So just those things. And if it's on your mind, believe me, it's on everybody else's mind. All kinds of different masks. The N95s are out there that everybody wanted so badly. You don't necessarily have to have N95. If you do have N95 and you're using it, make sure you don't have a valve on there. That droplets aren't coming in through that valve, but they are going out if you're coughing and you're possibly exposing people. There's a couple little other facts on there that I thought were kind of interesting. The last one on there is the myth of building up CO2 in the mask. No, it's not happening. It's not getting trapped. But I liked the fact that they have the information here, how people with breathing problems, children under age of 2. Now, I was just told this morning by my lovely wife that has changed to children under 10 or 11. Our kids are old enough out of the house in their 20s that I hadn't even thought about that, but I take caution either way. to just kind of, I think in this case, just think more of others around you. Be friendly to thy neighbor, I guess. Real quick, slide number 4 is how to wear it. We kind of covered that real quick. Little infographic there shows the check sign for the plus that, hey, you've got it on right. And the keys to that, as I'm demonstrating here again, holding the straps, I've got it over my nose, I've got it under my chin and over my ears. Now, these ear saver things work wonderfully. Typically, I've got one on my mask because those things start chafing on me. Either way, whether you're hooking it on your ears or you're using one of these, it's fine. Adjust the nose clip. Most of the ear loop masks that I've seen have the little piece of metal wire in there. And just make sure it's under your chin. I'm good to go. It's the biggest issue now is fogging if you wear glasses, or if you're out and about and you're luckily you're outside and you're enjoying the sunshine and you've got your sunglasses on. I have found with the ear loop mask, I might look a little funny, but I can put my sunglasses down just over that nose bridge, that piece of metal, and most of the time my glasses won't fog. If it's an issue for you, anti-fog products were kind of tough to get for a while, but they are becoming readily available once again, whether you're buying that from, one of the retail stores or a safety supplier. It's pretty much all the same. If you're using lens wipes that would look something like a hand wipe in a package like that, if it's not specifically really just an anti-fog, it probably is better than nothing, but won't last very long. First time you wipe it with your, a rag or wash the glasses, it's going to be gone. So if you're looking for an anti-fog type product to put on glasses or a face shield or something like that, there's some others out there. Parker's Perfect is one, and it's just one that I happened to find online during this. It's a wipe. It's 2 steps. You wipe it on, take a clean soft rag and kind of buff it out, and it'll hold up for the day at least, even if you do have to rinse your glasses off a couple of times. Moving on through this part of it, Tara, did you have any questions on any of this type of thing, on the donning and doffing of the mask and how to wear it and take care of them? And
I have noticed a lot of people wear it under their chin and not fully on their face, or they'll have it hanging off of their ear. You said to make sure to wash your hands before even putting on the mask. Do you have any tips for making sure that the mask is kept clean when you take it off momentarily?
I've used myself. I've used a Ziploc bag. A lot of times I'll have one in my pocket if I'm using something like this, just the paper ear loop mask, because I can usually get a day out of one unless I've been somewhere where I've gotten something on it, or heaven forbid, I've dropped it. If I keep more than one in my car, I just, because I've dropped them, I've had them fall out of my pocket, I've done all kinds of things. Next thing you know, I've stepped on it. Well, I'm not putting that back on. Some of them, this is a fabric mask that is actually made by one of the manufacturers we deal with. The fabric is actually inherently antibacterial. It was kind of interesting, but in this case, it comes with a little bag. So I've been using the bag in a lot of cases, even for my ear loop mask that I keep. I find, for me, the ear loop mask is easier to breathe through. If I'm doing any kind of work in a facility for a customer, these things, the moisture builds up pretty quickly and they get tough to breathe through. And again, that's what I hear the biggest complaint is. People either they're hot to wear, or they're having difficulty breathing through them. I use the same type of thought process for these masks as I would for a respirator with a customer that's painting or something. If it's if the ear loop mask, if it is getting difficult to breathe through it, its filter media is pretty much used up. It's either gathered enough moisture in it, and usually that's the case, that's why you're having difficulty breathing. Now, it would be time to replace it. Something like this, um, take it, wash it, but then again, unless you've got another one with you, once it's got moisture built up in it, you're kind of done. Um, Other than that was really the sore subject I had that I wanted to touch on with when you invited me on the show. But moving forward, there is a lot of information that I would like to get out to the people on a somewhat regular basis. Um, it just even have my email was out there in the beginning. If you want to email me a question, um, again, this is not about me trying to build my business. This is me trying to pass on a lot of knowledge I've gained over 30 plus years. That seems to be in this day and age even more important, especially with supply chain issues, things like that out there. We're experiencing them just like any of the other distributors out there with PPE. Um, if you think you're going to call me today and order a bunch of disposable gloves and I'm going to drop them off on Monday, it's probably not going to happen. And people should anticipate disposable gloves cost being high and hard to get probably through 2021 is what I'm hearing. So just FYI. Some of the other things that have been affected, disposable clothing in a lot of areas. The N95 respirators, you notice you don't hear much about those anymore. They do recommend those in the health set of the healthcare setting. The 3Ms and the Honeywells of the world, the manufacturers that are making the N95s, the healthcare industry is getting prioritized to the top, and that's a good thing. The frontline people need those products as well, but there are other options out there, and we are starting to see some of the N95s become more available from everybody. They've just seemed to limit the SKUs available. They've limited, all the big manufacturers have limited what they're producing. They don't have the breadth of product line right now, and probably won't through 2021, we're being told. So I'm free for questions anytime. Just give me a little bit to reply to emails. We are starting to travel a little bit. So I am the West Coast account manager. So I cover Bakersfield to the Canadian border. So you might catch me on a flight or in the car or something, and but usually I can get back to somebody with a response in 24 hours. And if there's any way that I can help, please feel free to contact me.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Eric. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close for the day?
No, not that I can think of, Tara. I would, you and I have discussed putting together some other segments for the future, more specific to everyday PPE used in manufacturing setting, whether it's food manufacturing or just general manufacturing. There's a lot out there, and I'm sure we'll be getting some very good information to a lot of the listeners and the followers out there. And I'm excited to be a part of it anytime.
I look forward to sharing your breadth of information with our viewers and listeners. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. One of our sponsors is Dynamic Coatings Incorporated. They're a concrete restoration and flooring solution. They offer seamless, antimicrobial, durable, dustproof, and fast cure flooring installations that are USDA, FDA, OSHA, and HACCP approved. You can reach them at dciflooring.com or give them a call at their Sacramento location at 916-485-6800, their Oakland location at 510-352-7000, their Fresno location at 559-225-4605, or their Los Angeles location 562-634-9887. And my second guest today is Ross Rice of Rice Insurance Benefits. You can reach him at 559-325-1201. Check out his website at riceinsbenefits.com or Rice Insurance Benefits and Clovis Business Directory on Facebook. I'm here with my guest, Ross Rice of Rice Insurance Benefits, and he's here to tell us a little bit about himself and his practice. Ross?
Hi, Tara. Thank you very much. My name is Ross Rice. I'm a local insurance broker here in Clovis. I primarily have been a benefits broker for the last 30 years. We specialize in group of benefits for employers, helping them set up their medical plans, dental, vision. One of our newest benefits, and something that's really become a popular thing to talk to our individual clients as well as our group clients about in the last 8 months with 2020, is pre-need final expense. And that is a popular benefit because with all of the coronavirus pandemic going on, people are looking at planning for their legacy and leaving a benefit to their family.
What are some pre-planning tips that you have for those that are looking into legacy planning?
Well, to clarify, the pre-need legacy planning benefit is a new way of paying for your final expense. A traditional final expense is you meet with an agent, you indicate I want a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 life insurance policy, and they issue that. Sometimes when those policies are issued, the benefit isn't explained to the insured very well, and they assume that when they die, their family's going to get paid immediately. And a traditional life policy like that, and that's what it is, it's a life insurance policy, and they just put final expense on the name. But those policies don't pay out for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, or even longer. Yet you still have to take care of the final expense at the time of someone's passing. And so what we've created are 3 basic packages. It's a cremation plan, cremation with service, or burial with service. The difference being is they're prepackaged. We are the company that has what we call a price lock guarantee, which means if the rates go up on a cremation with service in 10 years, the rate you're paying now is not affected in 10 years. You will continue to pay the same premium and receive the same benefit without having additional expenses. The other thing that I think is really nice about it is it's given you a limited time frame to pay. Most of these traditional final expense plans, you're paying a premium for as long as you live. With AGI's prepackaged plans, you can pay it off in 1 year, 3 years, 5 or 10. And then once it's paid for, it's taken care of. You put it on the shelf and you not have to worry about it.
And you offer a faster turnaround time for that benefit, and you pay the service providers directly so that their loved ones don't have to worry about an extra thing on top of everything.
Correct. Most of these are going to be paid directly to the funeral firm, and then the family just basically can grieve and move on. I think what makes this so eye-opening now is, as we mentioned prior, we've all been driving down the street and seeing a family member holding a sign, "I've got to bury my dad or my brother." And your heart aches for them. And as you're driving by, you go, "I don't want that to be me." But we're all busy. We all have things going on in life, and we forget about it. And lo and behold, fast forward, something does happen unexpectedly, and your family members are out having to do that. That's the last thing you want to do. I think for peace of mind, you want to plan this and take care of it up front. The nice thing about our program, our rates are very inexpensive. It's about $1 to $1.50 a day. So less than $45 a month, you can take care of this for you and or your spouse if you choose to do so. And it gives you that flexibility of, being buried anywhere in the country or cremated and having that taken care of wherever you're at.
So what sets your services apart from other legacy planning offers?
I think a lot of it is a lot of people come across these final expense companies. They're dealing with a brand new agent. This person is new, green, been around maybe a year, and they're trying to find their place. I've been doing this for 30 years. People know me. I have a large clientele of group business, and I think what gives people peace of mind is They have my phone number, they have my business card, they have my website. I mean, they know how to find me. I'm very involved with my church, so people know where to reach out to me and find me. And I think that's peace of mind. I contact my clients. We stay in touch with them 3, 4, 5 times a year, just to check on them. I want to make sure that when someone decides to buy a pre-need benefit or a life insurance benefit, that it isn't a one and done kind of thing. I want them to know, hey, I'm going to call you when the policy is issued. I'm going to follow up with you just to make sure, hey, was everything on there correct? Are you still feeling good about this? I want to, and I sent them a survey. I asked them, can you give us a grade between 1 and 5 of how we, how we do things? Are we, backing up what we say we're going to do? And I just want people to know that when they make that decision, they don't have to worry about us just being gone. And I think a lot of people feel that way when they get these final expense agents calling on them.
You also have really affordable payment plans on different age brackets. Can you give a little more explanation of that?
Most of the age brackets, the difference in cost is very minimal. We have 2 spreadsheets that we can run instantly. The average premium for employees between 40 and 75 is $27 to $48 a month. You could think about that, on an individual group life or individual life benefit, that could be 3 to 4 times the amount. So if someone was 50 and 51, the rate's going to be identical. It's very small amounts of money. I'm 57 and I did mine. My premium was $31 a month. So you can kind of get an idea. I did a basic plan. So with one of the companies, we have 2, NGL and Global Atlantic, and those are our 2 carriers. So they call us up, we can give them an idea of, do you want to pay it over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? And it's very simple. Policies are usually issued within 3 to 5 days.
What are some changes you've seen in pre-planning due to the pandemic?
Well, a lot of the meetings now are done over Zoom. I think people are worried about it, and for safety purposes, I'm not a big fan of Zoom because I like the personal one-on-one, but I understand what the situation, the way things are. It's easier and people feel more secure about that. I also feel that depending on who they're talking to, they may or may not be getting all of the information. I like to ask probably more questions and answer more questions than most people are used to, but I want them to feel like, hey, this is a decision that we didn't come to lightly and we didn't decide to move forward just because we felt pressured. And I think especially with all of the news media and the things you see about, oh, this person died, or this is happening in this state, or this county, has got people fearful. And I always say, call our office. We can walk you through it. We will give you the good, the bad, and the not so good about things, and just tell you from the get-go, if you do this, this is going to happen here, and go from A to B. And it's very simple. I don't try to give people a lot of fluff.
What is something you wish more people knew about pre-planning?
95% of the people in the United States have not done any kind of pre-planning. I think it's had a bad rap because I think people final expense, and it's kind of like the used car salesman. People have a bad image of the people that they've talked to. And I think what we've created here at AGI is we're not just taking every person that comes to us and says, hey, I want to work with you guys. We very, very picky on who we select. And I think what they're going to find with us is that when they ask us a question, you have company A and company B. It's one or the other. And depending on which carrier, it's 1 to 2 medical questions. So it's very, very simple, very concise. You're not having to decide, do I want a $30,000 life insurance policy, $20,000, I can only afford this. Like I said before, it's about a cup of coffee a day at Starbucks. And so if we all gave up, 1 trip a day to Starbucks, we could afford this.
I know one of your sayings is it's never too early to plan, but tomorrow may be too late.
That's correct.
Any other statements that you think more people need to know?
Today, because tomorrow may not be here. And I think I mentioned to you prior to the recording is, prime example is when my mother-in-law passed away 3 years ago. We all knew it was coming, but prior to that, they had never planned for my father-in-law's burial or cremation. And when my mother-in-law passed away, my father-in-law, the reality hit that, hey, I'm having to pay for a retail cost of a cremation, which was about $4,500. And we had a nice service and everything. Had he done something like this, he would have spent maybe $1,500 in out-of-pocket expenses to take care of all this. I just don't want to see people wait, and then the family's having to go to a relative or take out a loan to fund it, because with the financial times that people are having, people getting laid off from the virus, I just think people need to take a minute, figure out what they want to do, call us, and then from that point we can walk you through from start to finish. And it's a simple process after that. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, we hope to keep in contact and hear back from you somewhere in the near future.
If someone wanted to start pre-planning, how would they reach you?
They can reach us. My local number here in Clovis is 559-325-1201. They can also go to my website and click on schedule appointment. The website is www.rice, benefits.com. And they can also find us on Facebook under Rice Insurance Benefits and Clovis Business Direct. If someone has a question or is interested in getting an idea of what a cost would be, I would appreciate them to give us a call, and we'll be able to take care of them and help them out in any way we can.
Thank you for meeting with me today, Ross. I hope you have a good day.
You too, Tara. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now I will share a video about the work-based education through Fresno Unified School District.
Fresno Unified offers career technical education pathways and programs that are tied to industry sectors here in the Central Valley. These pathways and programs offer students rigorous academics, real-world technical skills, work-based learning experiences, and personalized student supports. Work-based learning is an instructional strategy that involves interactions with industry or community partners, either on or off campus, that links school-based instruction to the world of work. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Fresno Unified has switched to a distance learning format for classroom instruction. This has changed how students interact with their classmates, teachers, and more specifically, how work-based learning experiences are offered. Even though we're in the middle of distance learning, we are still offering virtual work-based learning experiences for our students. Our partners have stepped up and are opening their doors in a digital format. They are virtually interacting with students and giving them a behind-the-scenes tour of their organization, as well as engaging in question and answer sessions. They also share their background, how they got into their career, and explain to students what it's like to work in their industry sector. Fresno Unified staff have the ability to come to your organization, socially distance, and film a virtual tour interview that students can view. We're compiling a digital library of virtual tours and guest speaking experiences and housing them so teachers can access the videos and show them to their students. If you're interested in hearing more or would like to participate, please fill out the virtual work-based learning interest form, which can be done by scanning this QR code or entering the link below in your web browser. Virtual work-based learning experiences are a great way to introduce students to different careers and industry sectors and explain the expectations of working in your particular career field. As a district, we are committed to providing high-quality work-based learning experiences for our students, even in a distance learning format. I invite you to fill out the virtual work-based learning interest form and show students the career opportunities that are available here in the Fresno area.
And our sponsor today is California League of Food Producers. For more information, you can visit them at clfp.com or call 916-640-8150. They help bring California's goodness to the world through labor laws, water regulations, Proposition 65, labeling requirements, regulating chemicals, drinking water, transportation, greenhouse gas emissions, and cap and trade. And now we will have a moment of silence for our Black Lives Matter community.